New Pack City, welcome back. Hawks fans worldwide, welcome back to your favorite Hawks Hoopcast. It's Wednesday, November 11th. We're going to bear through some, looks like some technical difficulties, but it's I think it's more internet broadband difficulties. We'll get that cleared up here. But anyways, it's Wednesday, November 11th, 2021, and I don't know if you are as frustrated as watching this team as I am, but we're 4-8 after 12 games. We have a lot of effort issues and a lot of refereeing issues that we're trying to get over. We are putting ourselves in a pretty bad position as far as the East goes because there's a lot of really good teams there. I'm trying to figure out as we have these games, these moments, what I'm noticing is we're not closing out quarters. And there's a lot of bad that goes through that, but we are giving up 12-2 runs in 2 minutes. We're giving up big leads and turning them into deficiencies going into half. This is becoming an issue to where it's detrimental to the psyche of the team. You can't continue to lose at the end of quarters. The silver lining being, of course, we've played a really difficult schedule, but it doesn't negate that we're not doing what we need to do. And that goes back to the ideas that we had last year when it came to Lloyd Pierce and bringing in a fresh direction with the coaching staff. Now we did that, so we can't do that again this year, but the message is not being received like it was last year. The effort on defense is not there. The paying attention and the focusing to the details is not there. The finishing quarters is not there. Our strong suit is 3 points, 3-point shooting. And I just read that we're taking the least or the third least amount of attempts. I think when we're really rolling, Bogdanovich is a 20-point player, taking 10 shots a game, taking 15 shots a game, preferably 7 to 9 of them 3-pointers. We're not running plays to get people open that we know can shoot. We're falling behind in the shot clock and taking desperate shots. We're taking shots at the beginning of the shot clock. Just nothing seems to be gelling. And a lot of that could just be a simple matter of fact of we have too many players. We have too many too many players for Coach Nate to run in and out of the lineup. That's been discussed. And when the guys come back in, they're running a little behind today. But when we come in, I'm gonna ask them again the same question I asked at the beginning of the year: who is our number 2? Because what I'm seeing is roles dissipating. There's no more roles, no more identified roles. Like everybody's just trying to become that number 2. And I don't know if that stems from Hunter and Reddish not getting paid yet or whatever, but there's a beginning of a crisis that could either be averted if Nate is who we think he is, or it can just be prolonged if Nate does not grab a hold of this as soon as possible. I'm going to bring in Damon real quick so we can bounce some ideas off, but are we the 19th best team in the league right now? Are we the 30th best defense in the league right now, or are we underperforming? Is this something that can be corrected?
Yeah, it can be. But like I said, we need defensive presence. We don't have defensive presence in the paint besides Clint Capella.
And he's not doing he's not even doing as good as last year. So we're really missing Double O. I think he's going to have a great impact. But let's look at these numbers that you're referring to. I mean, 27th in defense ratings, 26 at rim defense, or 28th at rim defense, 28th in half court defense, 23rd in transition offense. Like none of this is good. None of this is good for a team that just went to the finals or the conference finals. Like it takes a gelled team to get to get that far, to go through that many series. what
Right.
is what is going on? Is it the influx of players that you know, where the injuries let me just lay this out real quick. The injuries last year kind of allowed the roles to be defined without Nate having to do too much tinkering because we had people hurt. Now that there's not people hurt, it seems like it's almost impossible to find a lineup that really even enjoys playing together. I see a lot of frustrations and a lot of hands up and a lot of pointing at like you should have been there. What's going on? Are we not having enough practice? I mean, I just
No,
I'm
the problem is the players. One, they wait till um till we in dire needs to want to start playing. You see what I'm saying?
no,
And I'm
I do. I actually do. I think that that's because of who they want to decide. They don't know who the number two is. Nobody knows their roles right now. And so they don't know if they should shoot or if they should pass. And I
why
think that's
why wouldn't they know their role? What has changed? Just the thing about this team, and that's why I was telling people. That's why I put in the group that I'm not really super duper concerned at our record. Is that we brought everybody back from last season. We didn't lose any key pieces at all, and we added to the team. But my thing is this: roles ship of your role don't change from last year. Why would roles even change from last season when this season we're trying to recreate what we did last year?
I totally understand that, but the
So
fact of the matter is in the first ten days or the first 10 games, we saw DeLone Wright going from backup point guard to not even playing to now he's back in the rotation. You see what I'm saying? Like, how is anybody supposed to develop? I mean, in 10 games or have the confidence to know what their role is? Like, how is DeLone Wright going to be of any use right now when he don't even know what the hell he's doing out there? If he's is he needed
well,
or is he not needed?
maybe that's why he wasn't playing. Maybe that's why he missed those games. Maybe Nate saw something and like, bro, you need to see some of this stuff from the sidelines.
Mhm.
But DeLon Wright to me is not make or break. Why do I say?
I
Because
hear you.
I saw somebody post in there, hey, we're 5-1 with DeLon Wright or some stuff, something like that. Like, what difference does it make, bro? We won without him last year. Think about that. We won without Hunter a majority of the season last year. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Today,
Well,
we all know that defense really comes down to effort. You have to want to play defense. You have to want to, call out. He about to set up a screen. Help me out. You have to want to do that.
yeah,
Clint Capella gotta want to dominate the boards.
yeah.
He gotta want to make his presence felt. Clint Capella, what he doesn't do, he doesn't make his presence felt. That's why even on the offensive side of the ball, they always contest his stuff
Mhm.
because they're gonna do some finesse layup instead of going up strong with a power move and slamming the ball home. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
no, I agree.
yeah. So the boys are just not putting in the effort. And until they decide they want to put in, it's really nothing the coach can do. He can't bench everybody at the end of the day.
And I'll
Oh,
walk everybody off the ledge a little bit, just a little bit.
at the
We're
end
a
of
we're a very young team that has played probably the hardest schedule so far.
yeah, that's good,
And
bro.
and the thing is they're losing to good teams. They're losing to good teams,
And
and we're beating the teams that we're supposed to, and we're winning a majority of our home games. If we keep that up, we're going to be there in the mix at the end of the schedule. Now, something that you did mention, and I want to bring on our next council member here to talk about it, but Trey Young saying that regular season games is boring is not helping any of the situation.
but
So there,
bro, I knew. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand why people really making a deal out of him saying that because nothing changes. They all think that. None of those players want to play 82 games. None of those baseball players want to play 162 games. But okay, that's one of those things where you really don't want him to say that in public, but that's something that you already know. I mean, come on, man. Why do you
I
think?
no
Why
doubt, but he is the leader of the team. He is the heartbeat of the team. He has to have awareness. You would never see Brady downplay a regular season game.
Lou, you don't think in the locker room them players ain't talking like, man, goddamn, this game, goddamn 22. Yeah, they talk.
Well, we'll talk about this in a second because 20 games is a good marker for how your team is. And right now we're 4-8, and if we turn that around to a 12-8, we know we have a dominant team. If we turn that around to a 10-10 or a 8-12, we know we're going to be all right. But if we stay in 4 and end up losing 12 more games, we're in trouble,
bro. We're not gonna lose 12 games, man. Look at the teams we playing, bro. Look at who we playing. People acting like we 4-8 and we done lost to Sacramento.
And
okay, bro. We get that schedule we about to come off of. Got to be one of the most brutal stretches in the whole league.
Yeah, but it ain't going to get any better. And the thing is, like, we're losing those games. We are in control of those games, and we're losing quarters because we're not paying attention.
And if you go back to what I've been saying, and I said it last year, it's that third quarter. Go back to the Warriors game, the third quarter. Go back to last night's game, the third quarter. We'll go in with a lead.
Last year you go back to is the third quarter.
We gotta find out why does this team, and you can almost say the same thing in the third quarter we do in the first quarter. Why does the team come out so flat? Why do they start flat to start games? Why do they come out flat to start the third quarter? Why is that? And that's something that Nate and the staff gonna have to figure out, because we in these games now. It's not like we stepping on the court and getting blown off the water.
No, I see it. Yeah, not at all.
But I mean, each game. What I've noticed, it seems like each game is something freaking different. You can go back to when we lost the Warriors. Why shot in the second half when he clearly one of the hottest dudes shooting that night? Why is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why is you go back to what was the game we played against? Damn, I can't remember who it was, but they had so much length on us, right? We can't get the boards.
You talking about Cleveland?
Yeah, we can't get rebounds because they're killing us inside. Look at the defensive rating. You see the numbers. We get killed in the paint. We get killed defensively because guess what? And this is just my personal thing. A lot of those players really hope that John comes over there as help defense, because if I'm correct, I'm sure he probably averaged close to or more blocks than Clint Capella, because I was the one who giving you most of the help defense. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because the bigs usually trying to pull Capella out of the lane, because usually they can shoot at least a mid-range. But Trey and all our other wing players besides Hunter or Cam, when they guard other team's best player, they rely too much on help defense. And guess what? Sometimes it ain't there. Guess what? Sometimes Collins is in foul trouble. He not on the court. So
hold on. So if I can kind of bring this back in, then because what I'm still hearing from you is that we don't have a defined number 2, and without a defined number 2, how do we know how do we know what our identity is? Because if it's John Collins the number 2 versus Bogey the number 2 or versus Hunter the number 2, those are drastically different players.
But it doesn't take away the fact from when you see somebody hot, you get them the ball. I don't give a number 2. I don't care.
That's not happening. We see nobody's making the extra pass right now.
Prime example. And Dominique was saying this shit all the other game. He got Chris Paul throw him the ball, and they never did it. From Trey to Herter to Bogey. Every time down the court, Chris Paul and John Collins, nobody throw him the ball. And I agree with somebody when they were saying some of them boys be out there be trying to do their own thing instead of trying to win. Because if you're trying to win,
that's the youth.
If we bring the ball down court, Lou, how tall are you, Lou?
5'10".
If I bring the ball down court and you in the lane and a dude guarding you and he's 5 foot,
that's a mistake.
That's a no-brainer. That should be the first thing. Fuck a shot. The first thing you should be doing is, bruh, Lou got Muggsy Bogues on him. Throw him the ball, bruh.
Yeah. And I got a post game too.
Your
Exactly.
first option, your first option is to look at your mismatch. That should be your first option
There
on
you
any
go.
offensive possession.
So why
So
the
then we don't have a coach on the team then, because we don't have a coach on the floor then, because nobody is getting us into sets, whether it's defense or offense. Nobody's out there pulling us together. And when we get a timeout, nobody's rah-rahing the team. Nobody's making that extra push, especially when we're deep in the game. Like we were down 100-93, making a comeback with the ball, and we took a selfish 3, and then we end up giving up 12 points in less than a minute. I don't know how a coach can change the mentality. It's going to take a coach on the floor to really rectify what's going on.
And that's why I'm wondering, where the fuck is Solo? That's the only reason I wanted Solo back, because it seemed like last year he was that guy. He was that guy when if somebody tried somebody on the team, he'd be the first one off the bench to make something shake. You feel me? Like when they tried to intimidate Trey in New York and they bumped them, and then Solo came right after old buddy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But once again, Trey Young, this is my thing about Trey. I think right now he's still trying to figure out, do I need to be a scorer? Do I need to be a creator? You see what I'm saying? Sometimes he need to be a creator. Like, bro, John Collins got Chris Paul on him. Throw him the ball, bro. No one cares about the 3 you shoot from half court when we down 15 points, and then you miss them anyway. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For the mismatch. And I think slow it down a little. That's what I really think. I mean, not a whole bunch to where you just going in a full half-court set, but I believe that we need to bring the ball down and look around for a hot second. It seems like sometimes we be playing like we the 1996 Phoenix Suns. Get out there, get it up. You see what I'm saying? Because some of them threes we shoot, bro, everybody knows. I don't care who it is. Here's unnecessary.
Damon, here's an interesting stat though on that, because we are 5th in attempts in threes. It's almost as if we need to shoot more threes, but every time I'm getting frustrated at the offense, it seems like we're shooting a terrible 3. Am I wrong on that?
Well, you're looking at a large sample size, right? So when you look at all the threes we shoot, the large sample size says, hey, keep shooting. But you get frustrated when you see that small sample size when we're like 6 for 25 from 3. You see what? Or see, another thing to tell you is when are we shooting these threes? You see, like you can sit there and say we need to shoot more threes, and then you look at that damn shot by Bogey and Trey to close out the other game. You're like, why the fuck are you shooting that stupid?
Right.
You know
and they need to get a game together. I'm not really satisfied with the way players are playing off of each other. It's like we don't understand each other's tendencies all over again. It's watching Bogey and Trey run pick and roll or run plays together. It's like, have they ever played together? Because there's none of that finesse passing into the corner, the fades into the corner. A pass goes there and a shot goes up. I'm just, we're close.
About Bogey, man. Then I'll be quiet. Somebody else can talk. If Bogey can't hit the shit on the court.
Hold on, say that again, Damon.
I said, if Bogey is not hitting the 3, what else does he give you? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not like he can give you some type of good not even elite, but good defense. He don't rebound. So Bogey, if he not good from 3, it's almost like you out there 4 on 5. Yeah. Well, basically, if Clint on the court, you're 3 on 5, because he don't really give you nothing on the offensive end if it's not a putback, and he'd be missing them anyway.
Right. And Bogey is the one that I think I really see him having a difficulty trying to figure out what his role is. He should be focused on being a dominant shooter for us. Like there should be no focus on anything else. He could take it to the hole if he wants to, if somebody's coming up on him, but he should get out there shooting the ball. Like soon as the ball's tipped, shoot the ball. If he's not ready to shoot the ball at a dominant confidence level, then I really don't know what his position is. He needs to go.
How about this? I'm gonna put something in your ear real quick, then I'll be quiet, guys. Do you think that maybe Kevin signing that extension puts a little pressure on Bogey. You know what I'm to perform. You know what I'm saying? Does Cam Reddish picking up his offensive load, does that put pressure on Bogey? Because guess what? If Cam Reddish get hot, if Kevin Herter go on a string of run of games where they just blazing, who you think probably gonna get yanked from the starting lineup if he decided to start one of the guys? Who you think gonna come out that game, bro? That starting lineup. You feel me?
Yeah.
So maybe Bogey, maybe he trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Not push, but rush, or maybe he feeling that pressure on him. I mean, let me say, maybe he's feeling some imaginary pressure on him. I'm sure nobody said nothing about it, but I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe, who knows?
Right. Well, AJ, you wanted to come on specifically about Trey calling the games boring. So there's something you're feeling that is not clicking on all cylinders with this team, right?
Yeah, the reason why it bothers me, like when Damon had said that we don't have that coach on the floor. By Trey Young saying that it's boring, he's not thinking about that. He needs to be a coach on the floor. He needs to distribute the ball to the person that he needs to, and that's why I feel like that's why that really bothers me by him saying that. Because if you're bored with doing something, your all is not going to be into it, right or wrong. No matter if you're playing the game, no matter if it's basketball, football, golf. I think golf is boring. So guess what? I don't play it. Saying that publicly, it rubs me the wrong way. Yeah, they talk about that in the locker room and all that because it's 82 games in the season, but still in the same sense, you're getting paid to play these 82 games, no matter how boring it is. So now I was gonna go to the Milwaukee game. But now I'm contemplating. I'm like, damn, do I really want to go to the Milwaukee game? Because that nigga might get bored because we might get our ass blowed out. You see what I'm saying? That's my only concern. As far as the team, we're not playing defense, and we really do need to pick that up. But still, in the same sense, we're a good team. Good teams go on losing streaks. Good teams also go on winning streaks as well. So I'm definitely not throwing the cards in on these boys because I already know we still got a lot of basketball left. It's just 12 games. I mean, at the end of the day, we just have to play together better, and we definitely got to step up on the defensive end. The first couple of games, I was talking mad smack. I was like, yo, look how we closing out on the ball. We closing out on the ball good and everything. But then it just disappeared.
Yeah, our communication on defense is really bad. Our closeouts are terrible. I mean, how many open threes are we going to give up after seeing one of our guys run right by the guy? You know, like we have no, like, it's not just running out to the guy. It's running out to contain him. Like, he can shoot the damn ball, but don't run past him. And then all of a sudden we have anything can happen. We get a rebound right back to the guy. I mean, like, we're not playing really smart at all. And I don't think Kobe Bryant ever said a regular season game is boring. It is a chance to go out there and dominate and to get better at your craft that you know is going to be needed in the playoffs. So for him to say that, I just think it sets the tone the wrong way.
Just like what Damon said yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday in his live. He had said, "Do you really think Trey Young would have said that if Kobe was alive? And if he would have said that while Kobe was alive, Kobe would have got on the phone with him." Yeah. Gigi, what's the name, was on Trey with Trey Young's favorite player in the league. At the end of the day, I already know Kobe. He probably turned over in his grave when Trey Young had said that.
That's true.
At the end of the day, if this is the game, if this is the game you love to play, this is what you getting paid for. You shouldn't. No matter how boring it is, you shouldn't say nothing like that. At the end of the day, you shouldn't say nothing like that.
I can understand Allen Iverson saying practice is boring, but games are that should be the most exciting time. I mean, you only get like so many of those in your whole season. You get a gazillion practice games, a gazillion pickup games, a gazillion, but you only get a finite number of regular season and playoff basketball games that are from the NBA. So, I mean, for him to call it boring is offending me. It's offending me. Like, why should I then go get a boring product and pay $44 a month to stream this shit? Like, why should I go get season tickets if it's boring? Like, that's a bullshit thing for our superstar to say.
I don't never know what Trey I'm gonna get. I don't know if I'm gonna get the game is boring Trey, or if I'm gonna get that it's quiet as fucking here Trey. I need that it's quiet as fucking here Trey at all times, and not just that. by you saying that the regular season games are boring, what people is failing and realizing, and I think our team is failing and realizing, the East is way better than it was last year. Way better.
Way
the
better.
Competition on the East right now is so high. It's basically like when he left the East, he had what's the name? When LeBron was on the East, all the power was on the West. LeBron went to the West, now all the power on the East. That's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what our team, they got to get that mentality. Like, okay, yeah, we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but hey, the Bulls, they not what's the name? They not picked up some people. Miami, they got Kyle Lowry over there, and then you can't sleep on Charlotte. LaMelo Ball, he be balling all day.
But you don't even have to go that far, AJ.
Boys,
I mean,
if these boys stay healthy on the East, man, we look.
And an old nemesis is still up top, which is the 76ers.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike? You look like a defensive back coach. How you doing?
Oh, what's happening, man? You know, I left Flowery Branch not too long ago.
Hey, he looked like he came from a job interview to be an athletic director.
Yeah,
hey, I'm trying to get in with the Falcons, man. They tripping. You know what I'm saying? They tripping right now. We about to do a real Atlanta thing and be like 8-8, make the playoffs, and have a horrible draft pick. Anyway,
you want to go one way or the other.
But nah, for real, I mean, you know, I just listen to you fellas, man. Agree with a lot of things that y'all saying or whatnot. I mean, I'm thinking about. I don't know as far as what Trey goes on. I don't know what to say about. Well, I do know what to say about Trey. I understand what AJ saying about needing. It's like he said that it's boring, but at the same time, Trey's scoring. You know what I'm saying? He's shooting the ball. You know, when he said the little quote that he don't know, maybe he need to be more aggressive. He was saying that he wasn't being aggressive and he was, you know, trying to get other people involved and stuff. It's like, I didn't get that quote because it's like, bro, you look aggressive to me and we want you to get other people involved. So it's like, okay, I don't get that. But I mean,
the conversation with Trey, the conversation with Trey right now should be, why are the refereeing affecting you so much?
He does well. It ain't no conversation with him or whatever, but that's what it's just Trey not saying the right things this year so far. Let's put it like that.
I will say that.
So far this year, Trey's not saying the right things. After the games, after this and that, he's to me saying all the wrong stuff. I'm like, what in the world? Like I said, he's saying that he need to be aggressive and, you know, making it sound like it need to be a second thought, getting other people involved. Is like, no, Trey. That's no.
Yeah, he knows how to play basketball.
That's not the right thing in the sense, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we want you to, like you said all the time, you would love a 22 and 13 assist Trey. You know what I'm saying? We don't necessarily need the 30 plus scoring or whatever. We just need the timely buckets and stuff like that, though. An issue I think I have with Trey is whatnot. I guess this is the boring part that comes into play, that he means or whatever, is that he can get careless at times. I guess that he saying within himself, he knows like playoff time and in the playoffs or whatever, literally every single possession matters. But like I've said it before, it's like, it's almost like, because I felt that way in Phoenix game, man, you know, against the Warriors too or whatever. Some possessions, he just kind of felt like he had like throwaway possessions. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
so is there a fine line that a player should walk where he still has another gear to put it into for the playoffs? So like someone like Trey, is there a gear lower that he's running to just get revved up to get into the playoffs? I mean, like, do other players approach it this way? I mean, is there, because my thing is like, it's to me, I don't care what he does as long as the effort's there and as long as the bitching to the ref slows down. Other than that, just play basketball. That's all we need. That's all we need you to do is play basketball at a high level, at a focused level. When coach is telling you little things, like what we need to do as a team is different from what Trae Young needs to do as a person. But what we need to do as a team is start taking the last 2 minutes and 3 minutes of quarters more seriously. And that comes with Trae throwing the ball away.
That's what I'm talking about, Lou, or whatever. Like those possessions, and I was talking about it during the last game. Is getting back to treating every possession like it matters, like it counts. You know what I'm saying? Like
the last 2 minutes of quarter.
There's no throwaway possessions. Like I said, when he settles for those deep threes, even though he can hit them, sometimes it's like those are throwaway possessions. It's like you just settle for those. Like, no, man, like really work to get us a bucket here. I don't care we up tempo. Like I brought it up against the Warriors. In my live after the Warriors game, we was up like 10 points, going into the halftime. And it was like 2 minutes left or so.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about right here.
But he settled for that deep three. And I promise you the Warriors scored every bucket after that, though. But like I said, though, he didn't treat the possession at that moment that I saw serious enough, although we were up 10 points. And he settled for this deep, lackadaisical three, missed it, long rebound, whoop, whatever. But like I said, though, we playing against a player like Steph Curry. And then on top of that, the whole league is just a lot better. It's a lot more parity this year. 10 and in today's game, 10 points is literally like 2 possessions, 2-3 possessions. Like,
okay,
that's wiped away very fast.
Is there a way to get Trae to play like he does, lackadaisical, very, very relaxed and spontaneous, and then at the end of the maybe like 2 or 3 minutes into the end of the quarters, if he's in there, he's got to treat it like it's playoff basketball? Is there some communication that needs to get to him? Because like he does throw away possessions.
Yeah, but I think that he'll continue to grow. I don't know how to say it.
Okay,
he will continue to grow. What I'm saying is, put it like this. Even though I'm making that an issue, that's almost not my number one issue. Right. I feel like what's really killing us is the crying and whining to the refs across the board. It is at a high, I feel like, this season from our players. Literally whining and crying. Trae Young does it. So it's the little things that are killing us. It's those split moments when we stop to look at the ref to complain that's killing us, because the other team is down the court. And it's countless times that I can count where Trae is trailing behind the play because he either, felt like he should have got a foul, he got to say something to a ref, or he felt like he should have got a foul and he's taking his sweet little time to get off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. That happens a lot of times. Bogey, it happens with Bogey. We've seen it happen with John Collins, whatever you want to throw his hands up, we get tech, trying to play. What's that?
We saw it with Clint.
Yeah, we've seen it with Clint. So that's what I'm saying. Like all those things was adding up throughout the game. That's killing momentum. That's killing runs. That's giving the other team momentum. That's giving them swings. That's really, truly hurting us. Yes, what I was talking about with those, settling and treating the possessions important or whatever, that's very important. But like I said, I feel like number one was killing us is our whining and complaining. We can cut that out. We will be in a lot better position. And then, we can start talking about the other stuff, though. But, and I just feel like even with that,
though, that's Mike, even though I agree with you with what you said about they need to cut it out, do you also feel as if the refs are either targeting the Hawks or are missing a lot or calling not a balanced game? Because I get a little bit of both, where I'm getting pissed off at the refs, but then I'm also pissed off at the Hawks reacting to the refs that way, and it's like
I'm putting on the players first, man, and reactions. I've already said it, removing myself from being like biased and a fan of my team or whatnot is that I like the refereeing in a sense. I mean, I know it's frustrating to a lot of people, but instead, I have to put my personal self into it, because then as a player and stuff, like I like to play defense and everything. So it's cool with me, looking at the play from, Miami and Denver. Moore's getting all upset really because they getting beat, but like, no, Jokic ain't really fouled Bam. I mean, it was a little contest at the rim. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it might have been a little contact, but basketball a contact sport. You know what I'm saying? It's like, stop whining. But that's why I said it. I say that to any players, whatever. But I bet you Miami fans sound like Hawks fans if you go listen to them. Whatever. Oh man, we ain't getting no calls. I feel like it's just across the board. All fan bases, every fan base got the same gripe for their team. Like, I feel
Which
like
is fine, but I
everybody's
think
saying the same thing.
which is fine, but I think we're reacting differently, and I think that comes with maturity, as Marcus was saying, and that's an interesting thing because, like, okay, you know, Trae Young went to the playoffs and experienced this incredible high, and now he's got to go back through the regular season. Is that a learning curve that we have to give him? Is that something to learn to do?
Oh yeah, it's most definitely a learning curve. I mean, the core of the team is young. You know, the guys that we really depend on. This is definitely a learning curve. You know what I'm saying? Something that probably should have happened, that Nate McMillan should have done, which is a lot of teams do in the past, and I don't think I've heard anything of it. Y'all let me know. He should have brought some people in that's been in the position that the Hawks are currently in and what we're facing and stuff to come in and talk to the team.
And not Delone.
Huh?
Not Delone coming from loser teams.
No. I'm not necessarily talking about players to play on the team though. It could have been a former coach who had a team that he had to put through. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I'm just throwing this out there because I don't know the same situation, but a Jerry Sloan or I don't know. But I'm saying teams have done this before in the past. You see it in college or whatever. You see it at the pro level too. They bring somebody in, they speak to them, especially like say you're dealing with some younger guys. You know what I'm saying? Just they're doing training camp. You know, that probably would have really helped to further put them in, like, you know, the situation or got Shaq in here. Shaq was like, because Shaq is somebody who went on a run as a young player in a young team. You know what I'm saying? Orlando or something. Shaq came in here telling them about his Orlando days, how they got to the finals, and then basically tell them why they didn't follow it up or something. You know, like,
and I feel you, and you don't even have to make it a whole thing. You can just make it a speech at the beginning where you bring somebody in. But I'm talking about a player on the team that knows what they're going through, because I think the players do. But let's not talk all black pills. I mean, I've seen a maturity in John Collins. Have y'all seen something different in John Collins? There seems to be, he's still getting thrown around because he's just not big enough. I wish they would just allow the boy to take some PEDs, but he seems a lot more mature and a lot more comfortable in his game. I wish that had the same impact on all the other guys that got played, but they seem to be rushing and a little more discombobulated. But it almost seems like it's really allowed him to blossom this year as a player, as an effective basketball player.
Yeah, let somebody speak on it.
No, anybody. AJ
said something. Can't hear him though.
Yeah, your mic's low right now, or something. You might have to go out and come back in, but you know we'll get that part set up. What about you, Damon? You got anything on John Collins's play?
I think John Collins is playing awesome, man. John Collins is actually showing you like he's a team player. He could have made a big ass issue out of not getting that ball in the Phoenix game. You feel me? But
I think that's part of maturity. He needs to make a big deal.
I'm about to say, but he can. I wouldn't be mad at him at all. Like,
but if he did it in the whatchamacallit, be like, guys, man, what do we got to do to work it out to where if I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. Because like that's what I'm saying is like we don't have an identity. I just really feel that I think we could have like two or three different identities. I think we could have like 2 or 3 different identities to hit teams with, but we don't do any of them. We don't press on defense. We don't take advantage of our numbers at all by switching fast. You know, we don't let guys play and get a feel for the game. It's like we're making all the wrong moves when it comes to these crucial moments in the game.
Listen, man. First, we got to fix the damn defense first, bro. You score 115 points. You supposed to freaking win the game. Okay? We cannot keep going around here giving up. I don't even know what our average is, but it's got to be
120.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, it's bad. And we giving up 28. We giving up 38 and 40 a lot in quarters.
So at this, if we did fix everything on the offensive side of the ball, guess what? We're still going to lose these games because we're still going to give them more points to the other team. So we need to fix this defense first. And I'm going to need a lot more effort from everybody. It seems like the only one who be focusing on defense is the person checking the other team's best player. I'm going to need Clint Capella. Where is he at? Ever since he said something about New York, he's been silent since. He nowhere to be found. You know, hell, if
Still
you
can't hear AJ.
if you're not gonna be a defensive juggernaut, at least get us some rebounds. Where is that? He got out rebounded by Steph Curry, and I say he hurt. Well, if you're hurt, don't play. If you cannot perform the job.
Is that what you heard?
So you give me Hofer vibes, man. What's happening?
What you say?
They giving me Hofer vibes.
Bro, Al Horford is better. Al Horford right now is better than Clint Capella.
Hey, can we speak on that for a second? Al Horford does look like a rejuvenated basketball player. He's looking pretty damn good.
Al Horford is hitting on these cats right now. Meanwhile, Clint Capella, what does he even complain about? He gonna miss the layup anyway. You know what I'm
Okay, so
complaining? Play some defense, Clint Capella.
Do y'all? Okay, so let me ask y'all a question, and then I'll go around. I'll put everybody on the hot seat, and we'll see if we got AJ's mic. AJ, you might want to go out and come back into the app.
He on mute right now.
No, but talk. Go ahead and say something. Oh. But yeah, let me ask y'all: is the way out of this on our roster, or is it? Okay, now this is just a question about, do you think somebody else is going to do it? Not if you want them to do it or not, but do you think the Atlanta Hawks are going to make a move before the trade deadline to consolidate some of this talent into a bigger name player? Do you think the Hawks are going to make that move? Not do you want to make that move?
Do I think the Hawks going to make that move versus do I want them to?
Yes.
Bye.
Look at this comment.
What they say, yeah, but Marcus say most definitely, man. Hey, we continue the route we going, man. For sure.
Yeah, we can hear now.
Yeah, we continue to work with the way we going, man. For sure, man. I believe wrestler. Yeah, he ain't got no time for this.
I think we gonna make if we are hovering around 500. I think Travis gonna be kicking the tires. I think we're gonna be We're gonna be buyers if we hovering around 500. We're gonna be buyers at the trade deadline. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this,
because bro,
you're on the hot seat right now, Damon. Let me ask you this: we become buyers in the Ben Simmons situation?
Why not?
We need defense. He plays defense.
He's 6'10". I bet he can get more rebounds than Capella. But anyway, check it out.
Okay, hold on.
Check it out. I don't think we're gonna be in this hunt for Ben Simmons because we already know Philadelphia, they want too much for him. What I'm thinking is we're gonna be looking for some disgruntled defensive bigs. Let's find some disgruntled defensive bigs because Dang is not it. And I've been said that he not it, man.
Someone like a Whiteside?
Yeah. He would have been perfect if he was willing to come off the bench, right? Whiteside can give you a couple points off put back dunks.
Yeah, I want to replace Clint though.
But he a defensive presence. Whiteside always been a good defensive presence. Where is Clint? Somebody tell me, where is Clint Capella since New York? Besides signing that contract extension, where he been at?
We need to replace Clint.
Where he at?
Damn, y'all turning on.
Y'all remember at one point in time. Y'all remember at one point in time when all this was going on, what I had said, we need to go get Giannis Vallis.
Yeah, same.
What everybody kept telling me, he's too much. He's too much. But look how much he went for.
Yep, I said the same thing. I said the same thing about.
We had Rashad Holmes out there too.
Yep.
Well, you got to talk to Travis about that player.
I know, but I don't think Dang is the fit. And if we're gonna start trading somebody, I'd like to trade Dang.
I told you Dang is garbage, bro. I said,
but Dang is not supposed to be playing like that, though, man. It's supposed to be double O.
This is what I'm saying. When I saw Minnesota go sign Knight,
Nathan Knight,
I'm like, why are we taking Minnesota's trash and giving up a young prospect, and we letting a young prospect leave? Dang is not it, man. We need a defensive big.
You go back and watch our earlier shows, and we were dreaming big after the playoffs. We were like, all right, let's package a few of these guys and go after a big. He said Cat. He said this guy. I mean, we were thinking big. Let's go. We know exactly what we need. And we didn't do any of that. We just got more role players, more bench players that we already have. Now we have way too many players.
I do agree on the DeLon.
And where the fuck is Jalen Johnson?
I like the DeLon Wright pickup. Okay, I like that pickup because we know Lou is not it.
If Lou would have retired, that would have been great.
It would have been perfect. But guess what? We didn't have to re-sign him neither, but we did. So that's on Travis. But I like the DeLon Wright. I think we just need to get a good defensive big, and them boys gotta want to win these games, man. They gotta understand. We can't outscore some of these teams, man, every night.
Okay, so when Hunter's playing and he's not playing, and their guys going off in the fourth quarter to bring them back, how frustrating is that,
bro? I mean, I don't get frustrated when a superstar doing what superstars do. I mean,
but I'm saying when our best defender's not even playing for, like, okay, he's sad. It's beginning to okay, let's get him in a little early, and they never get him in a little early just to stop the runs.
Because they probably, bro, don't be shocked if they got Hunter on some type of minutes restriction that they ain't put out yet, bro. I mean, didn't he just miss a game?
Yeah, I mean, back to back.
There you go,
Solomon
bro.
Hill started last night.
Okay, so what y'all feel about Solo starting?
He should never start on this team. Ever.
Right? Like, why is he starting over all the other guys that are available?
I don't even think Solo should have started last night. I really think Cam should have started last night. I really do.
I don't know, man. You start Cam, bro. We ain't got nothing on the bench. You think the bench ain't really give us nothing like that to begin with? Imagine if it was just Solo, and then you start Cam too.
I'm okay not starting.
I understand that, but still, in the same sense, your best defensive player is gone, so you got to replace that with some more defense. You see what I'm saying? That's the only reason why I had said start Cam. Because
I wouldn't start Cam because you got Gallo. Gallo can come off the bench. We went all last year without Cam on the bench.
But Solomon Hill is on.
Nah, you start Cam. Start Cam. It's fucking dumb. It's dumb.
No, you don't start Cam. I disagree with that. I'd say that Cam is the one that's in the lineup with the starters to close both halves, to close the first half, and to close the game out. He's out there in the important stretches. But you start Solo, and then you just try and steal minutes with Solo with a player like that. When you're missing two of your starting wing players.
No, if Hunter is gone, you start
Solo
Cam.
now. All right, we lost that game, bro. I mean, Solo and Tony Snell started a lot of games last year because of injuries.
I understand that, but we know Solo. Start Jalen Johnson, for God's sakes. I don't care. You don't start Solo. You have
but y'all saying that, and people keep saying that. I keep saying that too. But Jalen Johnson and Coop, they ain't even been dominating the G League. So it's like, I don't know why y'all people are just gonna magically do something or whatever.
It's not about magic. It's so we can see what we got. You always play your first rounder to see what you got. I mean,
you always play your first round and see what you got when you don't have championship aspirations. I know we playing like a lottery team, but we got championship aspirations. So therefore, you don't do that, man. Teams don't do that when they got champion. When the Spurs were a championship team, basically year in and year out, they just got finished going to the playoffs, and they go on the next season or whatever like that. They not featuring no doggone draft pick.
Tim Duncan, Ginobili,
they didn't go to a championship the year before they got Tim Duncan. That's how they got Tim Duncan.
Okay, you're right on that. But the year before that, they were good, and they tanked for that season.
And they tanked because David Robinson got hurt. They just got lucky. That's what it is. It ain't necessarily
Do you think Popovich, the evil genius, didn't devise some way
to we knew that before the season, though. It's like, okay, we're not the same team that drafted Trey. We're not the same team that drafted Cam and DeAndre. So therefore, we already know the rookies that we getting now is limited. You know what I'm saying? It's limited. PT, let's shoot. DeLon Wright barely playing. And so how Coop gonna get on the court? You know what I mean? Just little stuff like that, which is, like I said, I was already expecting it. I'm not shocked. Okay, maybe Jalen Johnson get a swing, a shot, maybe. But for Jalen to get a shot, bro,
Grab the rabbit.
Solomon Hill got to be hurt.
Okay, so who else? If it's not Solo, what about Gallo starting there?
Gallo, your 4.
Okay, so what about I don't know, man. It just seems like we're not trying.
I have to look up the minutes from that game, but I can probably play more minutes. Well, he probably played more minutes because we got blown out.
Okay, so for me to see the team do better, I think immediately I need to see Bogey take a more prominent role as a number 2 shooter, as a number 2 scorer, as a shooter. I think he needs to shoot the ball, put himself in positions. We have to run plays, double picks, whatever, run him around, get him into the corner, and have him shoot the ball. He's a goddamn good shooter. I went and looked at the stats. He was number 2 behind Curry in the playoffs last year as far as percentages. So I mean, it's just like we got to get him shooting the ball, even hurt. So I just think we got to get him shooting the ball more. I think our defense needs to be.
We got to get him out no goddamn referee face too, cause that shit had pissed me off. Goddamn Jordan Poole up here laying up, and he up here trying to explain himself to the damn referee. I need him to get his ass out the referee face. That's what I need first.
Yeah. That's another thing is, but you know, out of all the players, I do see Bogey accepting fouls a little easier. I don't see him being detrimental to the team when it comes to that. I think he does it whenever there's timeouts or anything like that. I don't have a problem with that, but what he needs to do is shoot the damn ball. There's so many times where he could have shot it, but he didn't, and then drives it or passes it, and then gets it to Cam, and then Cam has no problem jacking it up. He's like, hey, look, we're paying you $20 million to shoot the damn ball. You know, so that's how I feel about that. Is that we're paying
Cam playing for a contract.
Exactly. That's what I don't like. I don't like that.
Yeah, because I mean the way Cam playing right now, I mean shit. I mean what he averaging in points, what, like 16, 17 in points or something like that? Doing decent on
that game.
So what do we so what is he okay, so is he are we doing this so that we could trade him, or is that like a debut? Is that like an audition for teams?
I can't say it is. I mean, but it's kind of looking like we gonna need some kind of veteran presence. We are too young, because what this situation is looking like to me, it's looking like the 76ers when they kept on getting all them draft picks. They had Markelle Fultz and all them boys, and then all of a sudden when everybody had got healthy, too many people wanted to touch the ball. You see what I'm saying? Right now, we're so young, too many people want to touch the ball.
Right.
Because we got Trae Young, we already know he want the ball. I'm talking about the first 2 games, I seen it. As soon as Cam came out the bench, bam, I'm shooting. That's why we're gonna have to package something. We're too young. We're gonna have to package something. We're gonna have to get rid of at least 2 of these young guys, and we're gonna have to bring somebody in. And like Damon said, I really would wish that we would bring in some kind of big man for a defensive presence, because I don't care what anybody say. Clint Capella, he's hurt. I don't care what anybody say. He's not explosive when it comes to catching the lob. He's
how do you feel about
on the offensive rebounds?
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel about Double O coming in and being our starting center?
I mean, shit. If that's what it's gonna take in order for Capella to get healthy, yes, I don't mind that. And the thing with Double O, I like Double O just because of his body mass. Know what I'm saying? He a muscular dude.
Basketball player too. I mean, let's put that out.
Yeah. Know what I'm saying? He got a little mid-range jumper. He got a little corner 3. I don't know how that's gonna be with his shoulder. When he come back from his shoulder injury, but I mean, he's a good big. He definitely could start until Clint Capella get his shit together. But I really do feel like Clint Capella is hurt. You just don't see that explosiveness in him like how he was last year.
Bro, we need trade him, man. Trade him with Bogey.
Well, I'd like to get into the last conversation here, and that is this conversation of this is the say, like, this is the same thing as having Lloyd Pierce as our coach is what's going on this year. And there's a lot to unpack there. One is, even though the results seem the same, there's definitely a difference, like with that this isn't the same thing. But I'd like to go ahead and just get y'all's idea and which way do y'all sit on this, as far as like Nate is affecting the situation the way LP was affecting last year's situation. Anybody want to go first?
I think. LP. He was a decent coach. I'm not gonna knock him. Know what I'm saying? Or anything like that. He was a decent coach. He had 2.5, 3 years to try to do his thing. At the end of the day, we still got to give Nate. We still got to give Nate at least 2 years. He took over halfway through the season. Last year. So, and then like Damon had said in his live the other day, the boys, they really didn't have no choice but to play, because then it'll be like, these niggas some dummies. Trey Young, Cam, know what I'm saying? No one saying like, hey, all right, we done got LP out of here. Now we gotta play. Know what I'm saying? Type shit. Right. But now I feel like everybody, know what I'm saying? Everybody money done rolled it. Trey done got his money. Kevin got his money. John, he got his money. But I'm not gonna say nothing about John Collins, because John Collins, he is actually balling. I know I said my shit about John Collins, but right now, as of now, John Collins is balling.
Agreed.
I'm still pissed out about the other night. He ain't take nothing but one shot in the second half, even though he was hot. But still, in the same sense, that goes back to Trey. He needs to be more of a floor general. When you see your man hot, you got to get that man the ball, no matter the situation. And then Nate, the reason why I feel like he's not gonna, know what I'm saying, he hasn't lost the team yet, is because he played in the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Eventually, he'll get it together. I already know eventually he'll get it together. Just for the simple fact, is Nate McMillan.
Right. And to kind of let me put a cap on that real quick, because like it's not just Nate McMillan, but we saw that he can implement defensive systems and schemes that work and are effective. We saw him alter his decision makings in playoff series. We've seen him work. So we know that there's a difference at the end of games. But he's definitely not at the end of quarters and the end of games. It's not as tight as it was during the playoffs and during last year that I see. But Nate also has that on his side. So it's not like we're just saying that he's better. He was demonstrably better with the same roster. But now I think that any coach would be troubled to have 12 guys that legitimately could play in the NBA and have tried to get them all.
That's another thing. That's another thing. Yep.
Happy. And you got to still, you still got to be Nate, which him putting DeLone Wright on the bench is him being Nate. You know what I'm saying? So like he still puts people in check. So I think it's definitely, as Marcus said, apples and oranges, between these two coaches. But at the same time, this is a precarious situation to be in, because this is a young locker room that could go a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and then what a lot of people not realizing, like the coach what we got, career wise, he doesn't have a losing record.
Right. So we know he knows how to run plays, but if we go back to the first couple of games that we played, we ran out to the ball well. We defended the perimeter line well. We collapsed on the inside. We were doing shit that we did during the playoffs to be effective against certain players. It just seems like we're not game planning the last 10 games. I just don't know. It just seems like the last end of quarters, either Nate's allowing them to fail so that he can get their full attention, or they're not listeing. They're doing.
I just was about to get ready to say that he might just be letting them fail. Just so they can see what the situation really is.
Right.
Because
find details that it takes to win.
Yeah, because like you say, 12. No, I'm saying you got 12 players on there that's very capable of either being a nice 6-man off the bench or even starting in the NBA right now. it's a lot. You got to distribute minutes, know what I'm saying, and everything. Trey Young, he even has said, I think that we're still trying to find what's the name, how the rotations are going to be. I mean, that's why I said I'm not worried about right now. We're 12 games in. Nate, he's gonna figure it out. And like Trey said, I still believe he's really trying to find the rotations where he really just want to run, because we have
what? Mike, jump in. Oh, there we go. We kind of got you back. Your internet went away for a little bit, AJ.
My wife had called, but I was saying like yeah.
I think she's calling again. We'll let Mike take the wheel here for a second. Mike, is there an
go to Mike.
LP comparison?
They comparing what? LP?
Yeah, so the situation that LP found himself in last year, where he ended up getting fired, where he basically had expectations on him, and we felt like he was underachieving and not taking control of ball games to steer them to victory, right? That was the complaint against LP, right?
Yeah, that was the complaints. Basically, I mean, the main thing though, I think with LP is that he had beyond lost the team. I mean, it got to the point where I questioned if he ever really had them to begin with. But he wasn't on the same page or able to communicate with Trey or even John Collins at that. So that's was ultimately his downfall. And two, the lack of adjustments that we'll have, coming out of those half times and stuff, which is, I guess you're saying that seems like Nate not doing this year. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, I got my speculation like everybody else though, but
well, I mean some speculation was that Nate lost the team, but Ray Young came out last night and said he said that it's not that at all. That Nate and Trey and all of them they still love the situation, and it really is maybe just figuring out what it is moving forward, right?
Yeah. That, and I think Marcus said in his comments or whatever, but people knowing their roles, you know what I'm saying, who they are. I mean, you see Kevin, like, I mean, we lost, but Kevin played well, man, being a starter. And like I asked myself, like, is Kevin basically the best backcourt mate option for Trey Young, better than Bogey or even Cam Reddish playing, two guard or whatever? Is Kevin Herter their best option?
I think so, because he defers to him better than the other ones.
I mean, I think so too. I think Kevin has that right combination of,
oh shit, it's my turn to go do this, and then he can react on that,
that and natural deference. You know what I'm saying? Like Cam might think that he is too fat to really be that. You know what I'm saying?
No, we do. Yes.
Bogey has his moments when he get into thinking that he's like that guy,
which Kevin, I want more of.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it works
because that helps Trey Young.
It more so works with Bogey being that way when probably DeAndre and Cam not around. That's the way we saw last year.
That's interesting. But I would love it to be Bogey and Hunter basically shooting the ball and dominating on rebounds and defense, while Trey Young is deciding on whether to go to them or shoot or get it down low or penetrate. That's the way it's supposed to work.
That's the way it should be.
Right.
But we gotta get our defense straight, man.
Yeah,
because I really do feel like DeAndre Hunter spent so much energy on the defensive end to where like his offense isn't productive. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's games, you know what I'm saying? He'll go out and the baddest man on the court for the other team, if they ain't like just hella, if they ain't like the Steph Currys, Kevin Durant's, you know what I'm saying, Ja Morant's, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that, if they're not nothing like that, Hunter goes off. But when you got somebody like the Steph Currys and stuff like that, you got to run around and you got to chase him. I mean, he's spending all his energy on defense to where his offense can't even show up.
Well, which one of these numbers on the page jump out the most at you? To me, it's 27th in 3-point frequency. I mean, you just don't feel that in the game. And I think the way the NBA is, I think we need to find ways to get more shots in the game, more good 3-point shots with the offense and the offensive players that we have. There's no reason why every time down we can't take 2 seconds to spread it out, have Trey or whoever's up top break the defense down, and then start kicking the ball around to an open shot. Like, we have shooters, but we never get people running around after us to get an open shot when we need one. I just don't understand why we don't have that in our repertoire right now.
I like where we third at. Is that what I mean? We third and like shooting from there the best. I wonder who 1 and 2.
Which is terrible because everybody has now decided that the mid-range is the worst shot, right? Because it has just the same a chance of going in now as a 3-point shot, which is worth 1 more point, and it's no better than a layup or a dunk. So if you're not getting a dunk or a 3-point shot, you're fucking up in today's NBA. That's pretty much what they're saying. So yeah, that is a bad stat when you're shooting a bunch of mid-range, but it's also offset because we have the best mid-range shooter in the game. We want him to shoot a bunch. What we need to do is just get open three.
I feel like that's a bad stat. I feel like we need more of it. Me personally, and I ain't thinking about just Trae Young. He needs.
We don't need more of it.
Kevin and Bogey are like extremely well, like shooting mid range. They need to do it more often.
No.
The thing what jump out to me is the 23rd in transition offense.
Mm-hmm.
That would jump out to me because shit. As young as our team is, man, we should be getting out there on the fast breaks.
But we not, because defense leads to fast breaks. We ain't playing no defense. Why we 23rd in transition?
Yeah, that's why
we don't even get break opportunities, bro.
That's why it jumps out to me, because last year we were actually decent when it came to fast breaks. We were actually decent.
Right there to say 28th and half court defense. I mean, I'm just in the
and rim defense, and that's something that
right there, that's pretty bad.
That's something that if we're going to be there at the end of the year in the Eastern Conference where we're vying for a home court advantage, one of the top 4 seeds, there's no way that we can be 28th in that stat.
How many teams in the league? 29, 32?
31, 32, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around that ballpark.
But I mean, Philly's 8-2 right now, guys. Everybody's talking about how their demise is imminent, but they're 8-2.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. The rest of y'all was saying that. I told y'all Philly was gonna still be up there.
And they are. And it's because of defense, though. If you look at their stats, they look the exact opposite. A lot of single digits when it comes to these.
It's not just that, but no, you're right. Defense combined with an MVP, basically. But yeah, defense, man. I don't care that MVP do be hurt majority of the time, though. But defense, though, man. Defense.
What an enigma, freaking Joel Embiid is. Imagine if
he was healthy. And then all our bougie Hawk fans, that would be killing me about us sometimes, man. We just be like, we too good to have certain players or to try and get certain players. Man, Andre Drummond averaging about like 20 points when he 20 rebounds when he start for
Bro, the nigga had 14 and 20 the other night.
Bro, Drummond with Trey, y'all can't tell me that wasn't work. Can't nobody tell me that wouldn't work.
But our fan base, what our fan base was talking about? Oh, we got all these young guys. We need to keep these young guys together.
And they be dissing Drummond on top of that. Oh, he don't, what I'm like, bro, I don't care, man. That man sleep into 20 rebounds, man. Like,
bro, I do FanDuel, DraftKings, and Prize Picks, bro. When I seen Joel Embiid was out, man, he was all through. Man, Andre Drummond was all through my shit. Fuck out of here. That nigga was all through my shit, bro.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. And then you have Trey spoon feeding him, man. And I mean, Drummond's a better free throw shooter. Drummond actually can handle the ball a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that we'll ask him to do that, but that gives you a little playmaking from the center position. You see, he's big. He's not going to be moved out the way because
Brooke Mike, Lopez. Let me ask you this. Aside from Here, let me get that down. Aside from Drummond, who else is a sneaky good pickup that we could consolidate a few players and just pick up and keep the things rolling?
Who I kept talking about. Like, I'm gonna keep doing it because, like I said, bro, Hawks fans be bougie, bro. I don't know what we be doing, man. We getting like we too good for some folks. Like you said, AJR named Jonas. We brought that up, but but I kept talking about Karl Anthony Towns. They kept saying, "Oh no, man, Minnesota ain't trying to do that." And then, like I think a month later, we get the quotes when Karl Anthony Towns was sounding disgruntled and mad with the organization stuff. I'm telling you, man, like need to kick tires on that because all right, people can. All right, he might not help us with our defense, but I guarantee he won't be missing those doggone bunnies that Clint be missing. If Clint can just make those bunnies, that's something else that'll be having us great in games. And Clint been missing bunnies in playoffs or whatever. I don't know, bro. He ain't been doing nothing. And
Clint and JC still miss his fair share of bunnies too now.
But yeah, true. Well, JC this year ain't really been missing no bunnies to me, man. If he, especially without no contest, he pretty much finish it. But Karl Anthony Towns can give you Clint Capella's best game. Like Clint Capella's best game might be 15 to 20 points. 20 points is like extremely great. Okay, rebound wise, probably give you 17, 20 rebounds. It's like top game area, right? Cat can do that. He can do that any given moment. You know what I'm saying? No problem. But
20 average for Cat.
But that's what I'm saying. On top of the ability to give you 15 to 20 boards, he can go give you 30 to 40 points with it.
That's what I feel we need. In order to take the next step, we need to consolidate our players and go get somebody that can do that in the post.
Hey, bro, I was saying that before the season started. Like, hey, man,
we both
not doing that, But of course, everybody's like, we're
young, we don't need to break
one game or we're 2 games away from the finals. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but sometimes you gotta. Like, I don't know. Like, I got to sit here. I have to do my research and think of certain situations where teams been close like that, but then they made big moves before the next season and then, like, went all the way and won it or something like that. Because I'm sure
there's definitely teams. Philly did that. I mean, Philly, they started feeling themselves and went after Jimmy Butler. I mean, like, Golden State did that. They started feeling themselves, went after, not only KD, but before KD, they went after big talent in the
conference finals. So, Philly, what they lost to the Raptors in the conference finals?
Well, that was the year before they brought in. That was the year they had Jimmy Butler.
They had Jimmy, but that's what I'm saying. But then they let Jimmy go. They didn't keep him like some dummies when they just.
Well, no, they got pushed to the some Ben Simmons shit. Like he was trying to protect Ben Simmons, like it seems like. But we won't go there. This ain't a Philly show, and I can.
But I'm just saying, just trying to think of examples that teams of that.
We need a score. We need somebody that if Trae Young has to go out the game because he's playing a little emotional.
Go-to player, yeah.
That we can have the ball dumped to it, because John Collins, I love him, but he's still not that guy. You can't dump him the ball and he's going to get you a bucket. Even the other day when he could have stopped that run that they were making when it was still just 100 to 93, he came down and did a pirouette turnaround jumper that barely hit iron. Like I was just like, dude, really? Like if you're gonna do that, you gotta hit that.
He really did though.
Yeah, so we don't have a number 2, and I think we need a number 2, and I would love to see, but I would love to see us package some players up and go after it. I mean, we got players with salary like Gallo, Lou Williams. I don't think we do Lou Williams dirty like that and trade him. I think we just let him retire.
Yeah,
but he ain't. I say we pretend he's hurt and let him play in the playoffs because like. He just don't look. He looks like he's eating some lemon pepper wings or something because he don't look into it. Did they open up?
Man. I mean, but what was it? So I'm saying Trent. I mean, not Trent, but Clint, Gallo. I wouldn't. I hate to lose Gallo, but Clint, Gallo, and like, yeah, Cam, Clint, Gallo, Cam, and hell, a bunch of future draft picks. Man, send them to Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean, why are we playing Olay defense in the inside? It doesn't seem like we have any kind of collapse, and it always seems like our collapse leaves the worst person open. Like
maybe because Clint seemed to be hurt, I guess, but
is that what? So if he's hurt, we're not doing anything to like spy. We're not doing anything to clog the lane. It always just seems like we literally open up the lane. Like I've never seen so many like dunks and layups from 6'6" dudes. Like taking off from the perimeter. You know, it's just I don't understand that at all. You know, it's like we're not even getting bodies on these guys. And the room goes silent.
I mean because the defense, man, that shit is just horrible, man. The first couple of games, man, I just knew our defense was gonna be way better than what it was last year, just because of how they were closing out on the threes. I'm talking about getting to the ball, like on tipping passes, taking it to the other side, dunking. I just knew that it was gonna be a lot better. And then somebody in the comments, they also had said that think about the team. What was it? Think about the teams that we're playing. I don't give a fuck about the teams that we're playing, because at the end, at the end of the day, I don't care if you the Golden State Warriors. I don't care if you the motherfucking Willacoochee Bobcats. At the end of the motherfucking day, if you're a championship team, you have to beat these teams at some point in time in your career. I don't care if it's the Utah Jazz. I don't care if it's the Denver Nuggets. I don't care about that. Yeah, they're on the West Coast, but guess what? If those boys make it out of the West Coast and we make it out of the East Coast, we have to play those teams. So I don't want to hear that shit about look at the teams we're playing. We're supposed to be a good team. Good teams beat other good teams.
And you know, with that said, like we've proven with our play that we can play with these teams. Like we're losing in the details. We're losing at the end of quarters. Like it's even more frustrating because we're not doing the things that dominant teams do to take those steps and to keep the foot on the throat. Like you know, we talked about like they're losing 10-point leads before the half, like with 2 minutes left. They're losing, you know, they're letting teams blow up to a 15-point lead before the fourth quarter starts. Like when it was a close game for 3 quarters, you know, like this is not winning basketball. It's not sustainable, and it's and you know, there's a lot going into it. There's definitely, I think at this point it's you know, the too many players can be looked upon as a negative at this point. It's not helping us out.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good. It's good to have a deep team, but still in the same sense, when you got a deep team and everybody want to touch the ball and everybody and like don't nobody know their role, this is exactly what you get. What we got right now. This is exactly what you get. Nobody knows their role. Our point guard, he talking out his goddamn head, you know what I'm saying, this shit. Nobody knows their role. Nobody knows their role. They don't.
What do you got on that?
I don't know, man. It's tough, man. I don't know how they don't know their roles or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. They just play basketball, man. It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
All I got on.
But when no contracts come into play, you know what I'm saying? They like, okay, well, shit, if I don't average at least, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about it too, though. Now, these people up for contracts, they agents telling them like, hey, you need to go ahead and you need to average at least like 13, 14 points, 6 rebounds, maybe like 3, 4 assists. Please believe me. Their agent is putting that shit in their head. So that's why I'm like, these niggas really don't know their role. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, like, we're too young. We need to practice some of these young players, and we need to
sounds more
do something.
like to me, bro. My bad, man, but I just want to say
good.
It sounds more like to me that people know their role. It just ain't nobody trying to do their role because
they ain't accepting it.
They want to be here.
No, I agree, and that's why we are a falling team at number 19 right now in the latest rankings. And you know, I got a game coming up, you know, right across the street from me in Denver. So I'll be going to that game, and I'll give a report.
I'm gonna see you on TV, bro. You gotta turn up.
Of course, I get turned at games. You might see me on TV. I might get out there and try to tackle somebody. But you might hear me over anything because I'm a heckler, man. I start yelling at refs like they ain't never did a good job.
I'm about to say, don't talk to Jokic though. Your brother's gonna be in the stands.
Lucky for me, I like Jokic, so I didn't mind that at all. Hey, listen, if the refs aren't gonna call it and he feels like he's been getting hit, you know, this is a way to take out, you know, to send a message and to get a point across. You know, like he didn't punch him in the face. He did what he had to do, but.
Man,
Also,
I have no problem.
everybody knows Marquise is dirty, but
I have no problem. I have no problem with what the Joker did. I have no problem with what he did.
yeah,
Shit.
and I have no problem with what Jimmy did. I have no problems with what Marquise did, because like if they're gonna let you get away with, you shimmying people left and right, then you get away with it, So I have no problems with anybody on any of those fronts. They all just doing grown man basketball shit.
Yeah. Shit, the league need more of that. Shit, instead of all this buddy shit, these niggas getting on yachts together and shit, drinking champagne.
I will say though, watching the replay for today, it looked like Morris laid on the ground a little extra hard. Like he was kind of selling that shit.
He might have put on a little bit more than what it was. He might.
Yeah. He's getting nominated for Oscars for sure. But I guess our we still have all these teams to play. I mean, it doesn't get any easier at home when we got Milwaukee coming back, and that just ends 1 week. The next week's going to be another grueling week, and these guys got to put it together. And I do believe that they can. I don't think any of us up and down the roster on this chat or on the show think that the Hawks are incapable. We are just, curious as to how they're going to put it together. Is it going to be somebody getting super hot? Is it going to be somebody putting the team on their back that's not Trae Young? Is it going to be Trae Young dominating the games? Because he doesn't dominate the the rebounds or anything like that, but the way he plays gets everybody else juiced up. But at the same time, the way he plays bad and has bad turnovers gets everybody kind of not playing defense, and we need to fix that somehow.
Hey, hold up. Hey, hold up. What's the name? Somebody had said, "Fuck it, go all in and go get Zion." Bruh, I would be pissed off. I ain't gonna even lie. I'll be pissed off if we go get Zion.
If we got Zion,
if Zion was the weight what he needed to be, yeah, I wouldn't mind. But bruh, you gotta think, boy, this nigga Zion, but this nigga done gained like 30 pounds since he got to the league. He ain't thinking about doing nothing but eating, bruh.
If Zion, even if Zion was in peak condition, I don't want Zion on my team. Like, he's gonna eventually do exactly what he's doing, eating himself out of the league, or he's gonna hurt himself. Like, his body just does freakish shit, and he can't do it forever. And I think that's not tying yourself to responsible basketball play. Like, you're just going to be dependent on a freakish athlete doing Sean Kemp shit, and like, I just don't think that's how you win championships.
He owed Sean Kemp early.
What's that?
I said he owed Sean Kemp early.
He owed Sean Kemp. Hey, who did he end up with? The Orlando Magic or somebody? It looked really wrong. Where I was like, why is Sean Kemp?
He was big too, though.
Bro, if you look at the pictures of Zion right now compared to when he came into the league, bro, it might look like that nigga ain't been doing nothing but sitting up eating Little Debbie's. That's it.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. But I don't think that's the type of player that we need. We need somebody that has skills. We need a big man that has like legitimate basketball knowledge. Like, we saw what an Evan Mobley. We saw what an Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, it reminds me of a taller, smarter, more skillful John Collins. and this is him as a rookie coming in. I mean, he literally was able to win that game because he was able to prevent John Collins from doing whatever he wanted to do in the small parts of the games, like the boxing out, like the going after rebounds, the getting the big dunk plays. Like,
he's too long. He's too long for JC. He moved too well and too long for JC.
So we need something. We need something like that on our roster. That's what I feel we need.
I mean, I feel you, but at the same time, though, I need to be. We need somebody we can give the ball to that even Trae can defer to. Like, that's what we need, bro. You know what I'm saying? All the other stuff is like, yes, I feel you. Like, yeah, that'll be great and everything, but that's all. That's what we need, man. Like, we should have patched.
Hey, what's going on with James Wiseman? What's going on with him?
Oh, I don't know. I think
James Wiseman.
That's still the same thing as like, it's not like a real deal. Like, I wasn't really thinking Evan Mobley, but I'm thinking somebody that's skillful and like a Cat would be a perfect thing. Like, what do we have to throw at?
DeRozan would have been perfect. Wing wise, a veteran, older player won't be like, well, understand how you got to be, on your best throughout the boring season to make it to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
Bulls did a great job by picking him up. I mean, and you know what? Lowry going down to Miami has kind of rejuvenated that team in the same way. Kyle Lowry.
I'm gonna say, where you get Troy from?
I have no idea.
I wasn't gonna say no, but I was like, who the hell is Troy?
Yeah, I was
I'm
trying
just
to wait
trying
for the team because I was like, I might not know Troy Lowry.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm
you know damn well who I was talking about. So let's just
well, once you said Miami, I knew who you were talking about.
No, but for real, yeah. But he has played an impact on not even being the quarterback. They have the benefit of him being a stud defensively too. I mean, he's just so smart in his position.
Yeah, he just runs the team perfectly, man. Trey gotta watch some of them boys, man, a lot more, man, because the game, like AJ, man, AJ like me, like I be on FanDuel and stuff like that, man. I probably had to talk to him about tonight or something like that. We do a little segment.
Yeah, shit, hit me up. Yeah, hit me up. Hey, last time coming up.
You see the really good impact. You see the really good impact Ricky Rubio is having on Cleveland.
But what I'm trying to say real quick is that to bring it up real quick is because, like I said, that bring it all together is because of FanDuel. I was paying attention to it even more because I had Chris Paul in my lineup, and it was a slow point accumulation night in a sense for him. If you watching the games, like Chris Paul was out there, and it's like we lost. Like how much we were up by at one point, y'all? Like double digits. Like it was
13, I think. 13 or 15.
Like that. Yes, and they came back. But notice it was Chris Paul. It was a point in time in the fourth quarter where Chris Paul started to score. You feel me? Chris Paul wasn't trying to really score throughout the whole game, but it was a moment in the fourth quarter to initiate the comeback. He scored like 3 possessions in a row. He went and got a bucket, and he got the ball to his teammates. It was just how he controlled the game all the way through without necessarily scoring, making sure Devin Booker was just cooking the whole night, you know what I'm saying? Right. Getting him the ball, you feel me? Hitting Jay Crowder them, letting them get their shot attempts up so that when the time do come, they hitting the shots when needed and stuff like that. So it's just like Trey got to see that, man. He got to see that and really study those things and adapt it to his game so that he can understand it a little bit. I mean, he did better at it last season. He definitely did, though. But I just, yeah, man. Chris Paul, like I said, that was just on another level for me. Because, and then, AJ will know for me, know what I'm talking about. But, fantasy points-wise or whatever, in the fourth, he took off. He started to take off, and, what is he getting points for? The points, the assists, a rebound and steal here. It's he was, even without him scoring any points, he still had, a good 30 fantasy points going into the fourth quarter because he'll get assists. He'll get a steal here and there. He might get a rebound. So all that stuff adds up, fantasy point-wise, you feel me or whatever. But it's with Trey, if Trey ain't giving you buckets, and then if he giving you less than 10 assists, Trey ain't finna hit well for you fantasy-wise. You know what I'm saying? But you can pretty much guarantee Trey giving you 25 points, close to 10 assists. So that's why he's usually a good fantasy pick. But if he not, you know what I'm saying, like I said, doing that, he so it's like I said, though, he has to find ways to dominate and control the game without, just giving those peak scoring performances. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to battle with Curry every night. You ain't got to be the one who battle with Donovan Mitchell every night. You ain't got to be the one who battle with, just the top scorer every night coming in. You feel me? Kev just did it.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because, and we'll start our signing off here shortly. We're kind of a little long show because we don't have another game until Friday, and we just had a bunch of real big battles. But when it comes to Trey Young, is he is not okay? So I guess what I'm trying to say here with Trey Young is that it doesn't feel like he's applying the right type of pressure to put his imprint on the games like he was on purpose in the playoffs. It seems like he's getting lost in the sauce when he's out there. It does seem like he's not I don't mind him initiating all the time or taking it back or feeding someone. Could DeAndre Hunter be his Devin Booker where he could just rely on him constantly to just get a bucket in a dominant?
Yeah, I feel like DeAndre Hunter could, because DeAndre Hunter he got a little mid range shot, and he could shoot the three, and he also could drive the rock. He could be just like Devin Booker, even bigger.
What about you, Mike? Do you feel, Devin? Do you think we should make a decision to create the offense where it's Trey applies pressure, goes to Hunter, and then Hunter flashes it around to an open shooter or dominates? Because I mean, he just always makes a good decision. Although I do see him fumbling the ball more than I've seen him do his first couple of years.
Yeah, Hunter got to continue to grow for as his handles goes and everything like that, though. But play wise, I was just gonna say real quick, because I feel like that's what
Say it again.
Well, I'm saying play wise. I feel like that's what you keep on kind of harping on or whatever, and it seems like it's different or whatever. I don't think that Trey play wise is different than what he did in the playoffs and stuff like that. Again, I had different takes in a sense after the Bucks series and Bucks and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Number one, I don't feel like we automatically win if Trey don't get hurt or something like that. I don't feel that way. Also too, I questioned, what I'm saying, watching the camera or something like that, and watching Trey in the times when Trey was playing and we lost, because not like we won every single game that Trey played in that Bucks series, but it's some games too and everything when I saw whatever that Trey in a sense was just doing too much. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, you feel me? Because he had that great, insane game one, shimmying and stuff like that. He has his moments and everything. So the question is, for me sometimes too, is like, will Trey get out of the way so somebody else can do that? Because like I was just saying real quick or whatever, is that Kevin show you that he can go get 30. JC can get 30. DeAndre Hunter, I mean, we believe he can get 30. Cam, we believe he there. Bogey really can get it too. So it's like you slick got 5 other people who can do this. Gallo can give you 20 off the bench. Lou, if he want to, he can give you 15 to 20 if he just decide to or something like that a given night or whatever. So you can trade himself, like I said, take himself to that point where he's that true floor general. He's allowed himself to like not get the glory for the victory. Remember, I was asking that question then or whatever. Can Trey, move to the side and let somebody else get the credit for a win or whatever? And I mean, it can happen. Like we saw Kevin Huerter step up for him in Game 7. You know what I'm saying? Trey didn't fully get completely out of the way because Trey was trying. Trey definitely trying. He was just out there bricking. It was because he got his shots up against Philly in that Game 7. He was just bricking. And he made a couple timely shots. But Kevin Huerter went and dropped, 27, almost 30 points. Same thing he just did against Utah.
Would you be concerned that him having to alter his mentality of not being a straight cold-blooded assassin, that he wouldn't be able to have that lower gear? Like he just doesn't know how to do it because he doesn't have the physical gifts to just let that like he has to go 1,000%, or else he can't be in the league with grown-ass men that look 4 times the size.
But that's the thing though. I don't feel like it wouldn't be him. He has to not think of it that way, because he's not shooting every possession or every other possession, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. He can't think that he's not going 1,000%. You feel me? It's so much more to a basketball game. You can't think that you're not, or now that you got to bring it to a lower level because of, you're getting other people involved. That's what I said. That's why I thought that other quote bothered me that he said. He said that he's not being aggressive when it's like, bro, you ain't lacking no shot attempts. You know what I'm saying? Then he followed that up as if it was an issue with him looking to get his teammates involved in a sense first or whatever, or just period or whatever, or he's overly doing it a little bit. I'm like, no, bro, that's not a problem. Like you need to keep doing that or whatever. If anything, you need to do that a little bit more and continue to get your players in positions or whatever so they can succeed and get into a flow and stuff like that too. Because also too, as a floor general or just a general or the top guy and leader of a team, you got to understand too or whatever. It's like when your squad eating and everything like that, basically, bro, they're gonna put it on the line for you more often. You feel me? Like that's just the way it is in life, period. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna jump in front of no bullet for you, bro. If you ain't never like fed them or gave them no meal when they were hungry, or you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's you feeding JC the ball all the time or whatever. That's how you keep them engaged defensively and hitting the boards hard and everything like that. Same with the bogey and stuff like that. You got to keep them boys engaged throughout the whole game. And you, the point guard, Trey, like you got the ball every single possession. You good. You're gonna get your points, man.
Well, let me just say this, because Mark has brought this up. This wasn't on our radar, but we did kind of poke at it a little bit today because I did mention that Bogey needs to be a 20-point scorer for us to be successful. And right now he's getting about 5 3-point attempts up a game. And Marcus brings up Buddy Hield, and he's having a pretty good year this year, but he's getting 10 to 11. I think he's averaging about 11 3-point attempts. And that's the difference between him having a good year and Bogey having a slow start to the year. We need to get he's a good shooter, if not one of the best in the league as far as like a sharp shooter. Get him more shots. We need to be able to get him closer to 10. I'd say about 8 shots because he does like to drive a little bit more and he's a little more successful. But I think we need to get him about 7 to 8 attempts on the three, and I think we will increase our efficiency. And I think that alleviates something from what Trey does. I just think in order for our offense to run the way we envisioned it and the way it worked last year, Bogey has to get more shot attempts up. What do y'all think of that?
Go ahead, AJ.
What do you think, AJ?
I mean, Bogey. I mean, I love Bogey shot. Before Bogey even came to Atlanta, and everybody was like, "Oh, why did we get him? Why we paying him that?" I already knew what we were getting out of Bogey. Cause like just for the simple fact, like I had said, I play FanDuel, you know what I'm saying, and all that. It was certain nights to where I would have Bogey in my lineup when he wasn't playing for Atlanta. Bogey, he's a legit shooter. But like, you know what I'm saying? But like Mike said, it's all about, is Trey gonna give the ball up? Is Trey gonna let somebody else shine? And Mike, he really made a good. I mean, I never really looked at it like that. And he really made a good point. Like, is he gonna let somebody else shine? And that's something what needs to be talked about. And that's true. Will he let anybody else shine?
But it's not even. It's not just shine. It's also what he needs to do is to do the.
He gonna let him get the glory, bro.
Hold on, no.
I feel like that's why Bogey rushed that shot, dog.
But hold on, let me just say this. Let me just say this. What he needs to get comfortable doing is to do the play that sets up the play. Like, we still need him. He needs to do the hockey assist. Like, there needs to be more times where he, either starts it off with a pick and roll, but the pick and roll is not designed for him to attack the hoop. It's designed for him to get spacing to then let somebody else do a backdoor cut or to do just a wide open three in the corner. Like, he needs to be okay with doing like the dump downs to the inside so that it goes out to the outside. He needs to be okay. The plays need to be okay, that it's not just him taking a mid-range jump shot all the time. Like, we need to use his quickness to create the spacing and to go ahead and start the defense start the defense collapsing and then take advantage of our shooters. Like, he needs to be okay with initiating the offense, but not getting the assist or the point.
Yeah, I mean, need to be okay playing point guard.
I don't think he is. I think he wants to be a scorer like Kyrie Irving.
He want to be a shooting guard, bro. That's what I'm saying. And he got to realize, even with like Steph Curry, when Steph Curry doing all the stuff he doing, man, the Warriors, he's playing off the ball, man. The Warriors, he's not playing like the point guard necessarily for them. The Warriors have a lot of stuff going on where he's receiving the ball and then he's doing what he's doing, going crazy. He's dropping 50 on you. You know what I'm saying? It's not Curry literally every single time bringing the ball down the court, supposed to initiate it, but he ain't pass it to nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's going to move and this and that, and Curry gets it back. So that's what I'm saying. He's playing more of a 2-guard, spot at that time, and then he can play point guard at times though. But Trey is doing, it's too much of the shooting guard stuff at point guard, man, where, you talking about getting Bogey to 10 shots. That shouldn't be no problem. I don't know how many shots we get up as a whole team per game, but you'll think all of them should get 10 shots up at least, like JC.
Do you
Trey,
think? Let me ask you this: do you think that that Trey comes down and when he's thinking, okay, I got to do something positive for the team? Do you think he's like, okay, let me run this pick and shoot this three, or is he thinking, let me make the best play to start our offense to get a layup? Like, I don't think his mentality is geared for, for the whole. I don't know, man. What's going on with Trey Young? Like, I
think his mentality is make a play on each and every play, but the mentality is that he has to make the play. You know what I'm saying? I don't, whether it's a 3 or a layup or whatever, is like either he needs to score or he needs to set somebody else up to score. Sometimes it's just simply you brought the ball down court, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the team is playing basketball.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll start starting off here in a second, but I don't think that they're playing with that. I don't think they're doing enough on in the back ends while the ball is being brought up. I don't think there's a lot of movement. I don't think there's a lot of ball movement. Like I think we're sputtering.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of things combined with it. All right, number one, I mean, we have been playing some good teams. Number two, we whining and crying. That's a fact. And there's number three. What? I mean, yeah, we're not playing good basketball on our end, and we're not playing good defense. And number four, or whatever, is that we just played in the conference finals, bro. When you play in the conference finals, there's no other teams playing when you're playing. So therefore, everybody and their mama see your team. Everybody in the league not only know that we are a decent team now, and they got to show up to play the Atlanta Hawks. All right, they know that, but also too though, they know what the Atlanta Hawks like to do and want to do. It's not like we really mixing it up much more. We still got Clint Capella. Like each and every round going forward or whatever, you can see in the playoffs, teams trying to be stubborn or whatever, but throughout it, they'll after game one, game two, they're like, all right, we got to stop that lob. After a couple games, we got to stop the lob. That's what's the thing in the playoffs with the Philly and the Bucks. Philly and Bucks or whatever, they both started out the playoff rounds against us being a little stubborn or whatever in a sense. I guess I'll say about as far as how they defended it and stuff like that, though. But what you're getting now is that coming into the season, you basically had the whole league watching you only, you know what I'm saying? And they're playing that a lot better as well. Like I've said that as well, too, though. Not only that Clint sucks, but at the same time, the lobs are down. The lob successfulness is down. JC is getting some here and there because JC is just stupid athletic where he can just dunk on somebody. But Clint lobs aren't like JC's ability to do a lob or whatever. Somebody's in the way. Clint ain't dunking it. Clint ain't finna catch it and just sit on somebody's head or somebody that's messing everything completely up or whatever. And JC, like I said, even to JC, is down a little bit. I almost feel like Trey needs to go for a little bit of like just literally. I think that's probably where I think about it now, where he meant for is needing to be more aggressive is that when he do get in the center of that paint or whatever, he probably needs to shoot that floater more for a time period until teams are literally, I feel like teams are kind of cheating off on the lob play. And I feel like Trey is looking for the lob a little too much or whatever because Trey, he likes passing the ball, but he definitely loves throwing a lob because a lob and a dunk is a highlight. You feel me? So, of course, he going to want that, that lob and a dunk or whatever. So, it's almost like teams are playing it a lot better. That's all I got to say. And I feel like Trey needs to go for me watching or whatever. Yes, I think he need to go a little stint of like when he get there, people thinking that he's going to shoot his floater more so than pass the ball. Until they start, like I said, coming back to him a lot more. And then that frees up Clint a little bit more. Because like I said, because you remember when Nate had a quote after one of the games talking about Clint finishing or whatever, and we're getting him the ball in traffic and all this stuff. Me, I feel like he's just being weak as hell still. But at the same time, though, like I said, it's a lot more traffic. I feel like the game plan is to make sure you got AJ say his phone died on us. But yeah, it's a lot more traffic. They're making sure that they're putting bodies on them. They, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm just saying, just look for that, man. When we play the Nuggets next or whatever, just watch how that happens or whatever, how teams are defending that lob.
Well, now is the rougher play going to ultimately affect Trae Young's mid-range game that you're asking him to start exploiting? I mean, it does seem like he's taking a few more bumps and bruises in there.
I mean, you just gotta do what he do, man. He'll get the foul calls when they come, man, and stop whining about it. That's something else that I was gonna say too, or whatever. That I feel like that's the difference, or whatever. Is that Trae Young plays the same play. That's all I'll say. It's like he played hero ball in the playoffs at times. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of times, and it worked for us. But Trae took bad shots in the playoffs at times too, as well. The difference for me in the playoffs is that Trae wasn't. He was giving it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the ball go down, it didn't happen. He's running back too. You feel me?
Yeah. So can I hearken you back then to Nate McMillan before the season started, saying that going into this year he hopes that you know, the Trae Young gets a little more of the Michael Jordan thing where he starts to trust his teammates in order to elevate him to a different level. So that is this the maturity process or is this the process that we're watching mature in front of us? Is Trae Young learning how to defer on a team?
I believe so, or just learning how to, you know, continue to grow and how to control the game or whatever. And and as a point guard or whatever, yeah, it's ebbs and flows of like your deferment. You know what I'm saying? And you deferring, he has to realize too, as the point guard, your deferring isn't true deferment. You know what I'm saying? As the point guard, your deferring is like you still controlling your team. The best way I can make it make sense is, like I said, watching somebody like a Chris Paul play. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like myself growing up and Jason Kidd being like my favorite player of all time. Like Jason Kidd used to have like the weakest stats if you were a casual fan in a sense. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like if you're just looking at points per se. You know,
but that's a great point. Let me hold on. Let me nail this down real quick. Let me nail this down for you real quick. Okay, so are you saying that when Trae Young comes down and when he's deferring, he's it almost seems as if he's taking himself out of the play, whereas opposed to a Chris Paul where he's still effectively initiating the play in order to get something that he knows down the line will just lead to a layup or a Booker shot. Is that what you're saying? Like Trae Young, when he defers, it's more like him pouting in the corner as opposed to, or up in the corner and up top of the key, you know, as opposed to him, you know, still running because, you know, he doesn't really have a good off the ball game. Let's just be honest.
Put it like this: it's not. I'm not gonna say he's sitting in the corner pouting or something like that, but it ends up when Trae is deferring, it's just a pass. Put it like that. If that makes sense. As opposed to Trae is deferring is just a pass.
As opposed to him, but let me just nail this down. As opposed to him passing and then running the opposite way past to
but that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to that part or whatever. Not necessarily the off ball movement or whatever.
Okay.
When Chris Paul, that type point guard, or Jason Kidd or something like that, they defer and they pass it. It's not just a pass like, oh, it just goes over there. No, it's going over there because it's a mismatch, or that is my guy's sweet spot, and he's like 75, 90% from right there. You feel what I'm saying? Trae Young, whatever, when he's deferring, it's just a pass. And then because of his offense and because he's not accustomed to playing off the ball, it's a result of him just standing over to the side or whatever. I'm saying that he has to learn how to control the game with that. And then even if when you do that or whatever, because yes, you gave it to JC because it's a mismatch quick, you might not get the assist because he put 2 dribbles down and the double team comes to him, but JC showing the growth in playmaking and he passes it off, which is you talking about the hockey assists or whatever, and then Clint's get a dunk or something like that though. But that was part of your deferral process or whatever, like I said, and you go into literally a targeted reason place, not just like I said, deferring. You just come down and pass it off, and because you can be putting your teammates in a bad position too. It's like, you know, he doesn't need the ball over there. No, I mean like literally with the intent for your teammate to succeed and do something well with.
So you're saying that Trae needs to learn to do playmaking on layers. So there needs to be layers and layers upon everything that he's doing out there. So when Jason Kidd. Hold on, yeah. So when he jukes and dives and goes one way, it's that he knows it's going to draw defense a certain way so that he can then get his boys into a position, right? So every one of his movements needs to be that type of coordination, and it seems like the good ones do that, right? And so I'm in complete agreement with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying growing to the level of being able to see the game develop, not necessarily plays ahead of time, but like, you know, movement ahead of time without having the ball. It's like he knows how to affect the game when it's in his hand. But I'm talking about he needs to know if I give it over here to DeAndre and he has a mismatch, what's going to be the next 2-3 movements by the defense because I did that. You understand what I'm saying or whatever? No, and what can come from that?
Well, I do. What I would love for him to do is to even have his, you know, once he does make the move and passes the ball, and then immediately he seems like almost he stops and then reevaluates. At that point, I would love for him to have it already to where when he's passing it, he knows where he's going on the court and what type of attention that's going to draw, hopefully. and then what to do from that, whether he should get a double screen or go, baseline or anything like that. I would love for him to be on that level and know that when he goes baseline, where he's going to get the ball back, so by that point, they would have already done like a pick and roll between two other players, this, that, and the other. And then, it didn't work out and he can get the ball back up top for an open jumper. It's just, he has a really good percentage off catch and shoot threes. Like we aren't being effective as a team. We aren't putting ourselves in the best positions. I see a lot of the times where we have Clint playmaking in the paint, running people over. Like, and this is when it's not only just that happening, but it's also like in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. It's like, and the other team's going on a run. Like this is the play we got. It's like, doesn't seem like he's coordinating all that. It used to seem like when he took those big bombs early in the first quarter and the second quarter, he was setting up a juke move for later so that he knew that eventually it was going to open him up. It doesn't seem like anything's that coordinated or anything has that much purpose anymore.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, I mean, even the shots or whatever, I can see that. But he's scoring fine now, so I don't feel like it's an issue or whatever. He's scoring okay. At the beginning of the season, I felt like, his scoring was kind of off on some games or whatever. I felt like he had to adjust and not get into the line because a lot of times, and as good players, offensive players do or whatever, they use the free throw line to get themselves going. Like, I mean, you see it all the time. The player might be like 0 for 5 from the field. They get to the free throw line a few times. They knock down a few free throws, and then boom, they have a crazy second half or that second quarter. They start turning up, or, they have a good fourth quarter, or they go the entire game bricking from the field, but still they had like 25 points. So they're like, how? It's like, because they kept getting to the free throw line. A good offensive player just going to still get themselves points. And that has impacted Trey a bit, but, it is what it is. He's scoring again now. He's doing better, but he has to stop the whining or whatever, and he has to not lead in that way. He has to take on the leadership role where, like, look, guys, we're going to stop doing that, man. We're going to put our head down and play. Like, I'm not even going to do that. I've done that. I shouldn't have done it, and we got to stop doing it because it hasn't gotten us anywhere. So what's the point?
I'll tell you what, when I was in my heyday and I played rec ball, with high level or at a little bit higher level than normal, that was a problem for me, being the shortest guy on the court and being someone that, had earned the respect of the players. But here I am with refs, ticky tack things here, or, fouls that aren't being called or whatever. You start to bark at the refs as opposed to just playing ball. So I know the draw to taking out your aggression on these refs and making calls. But the thing is like, you gotta, that's what coaching in high level and all the $1 million contracts and the coaching and all that's for, is to get over that shit better than I was able to,
You gotta use reverse psychology with refs, man. You gotta be their friends, man. Like, you gotta be their friends, man. You gotta give them some good calls throughout the game. You feel me? Like,
I don't.
You gotta literally say good call, ref. Like you do that sometimes throughout the game. Don't just be barking at them the whole time.
Yeah,
like it doesn't work that way.
I agree. I think he has a very hostile relationship with a lot of these refs, and now there are long-term relationships that he's involved with. Like he's got a.
Yeah, and it's funny, Hawks fans, but they got mad when that ref went like this. I find it hilarious because I mean, it's like, come on, man, they are human, and they're like, oh, it's not professional. This and that. I mean, but the players get paid more than the refs. Like, should they not be more professional? Should Trey stop doing this? Trey, used to do whatever the goggle crap or whatever he'll do, whatever, like who we, doing this to the refs and stuff. Like, bro, all of that was disrespectful, and so it's just like, I mean, it is what it is. Like,
do you feel he's paying the piper this year?
Yeah, he paying the piper, bro. It's his fault. That's what I'm saying, man. You can't. Refs are human beings, man. Like, everybody be wanting referees in every sport to be like robots, bro. Like, no, they are humans, man. Like, whether they consciously doing it or not, they gonna unconsciously maybe have a grudge. You see the jump that just happened in football with the ref in football, or what they did with the Bears or whatever the heck that was or whatever. A robot might not do that, but a human gonna do some stuff like that. Oh, I don't like him. I don't know. Apparently, against the Bears and Steelers game, whatever, the ref did some crazy taunting flag, and it cost the Bears the game, basically, or whatever. And also, too, he hip checked the player or whatever and threw a flag on him for the player for running into him. But really, the ref slid backed up into him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
You're not. Hold on. You're not dropping some breaking news here saying that the referees are throwing games and affecting the games because they're betting or anything like that, right? You're just saying
no. Not even just saying betting, bro. Just on some basic human nature, right? Basic human nature, bro. Like the whole game, you've been dogging me out the whole game. All right, it's like 30 seconds left in the game or something like that. You might have got bumped.
I know there's a better chance at getting that call if you are a nicer person, and it does seem like Trey is very agitated and very vocal and very demonstrative, and I hear him a lot when I'm watching the games. I hear him barking a lot. Yeah. So, and the thing is, like, I think he does need a different approach, and the thing is like what he is falling a victim to is reaction. So he's being very reactionary. So now he needs to have like a layer of understanding come over that reaction that starts to tamper that reaction down. It's like there's got to be a bigger force that draws him to get down to the next play or just to keep playing through. Like it's not going to win him it's not going to win him anything by taking this attitude towards the refs.
Nope, not at all, man. Just get him more and more frustrated, man. Like I said, you need to hit him with some good call or whatever, like a few times. You know what I'm saying? If he could, or I don't know, he probably get in trouble for it though. But he need to find out all the referees' addresses or whatever. He need to send them a gift. He need to apologize.
Yeah, no, I think that's a bad idea. No, you know what? I think in the post conference, I think after a game of him just laying, he needs to get into the post conference and be like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna make it my thing this year where I'm not gonna argue with the refs. They have a hard job, and I understand that, and I have a hard job, and I need to focus on it instead of their job." And then just drop it.
Just do that, drop it and move on, man. Put his head down and play ball, man. You get hit, nothing happened, you play ball. Like I'm telling you, like he couldn't be my flesh and blood, because I'd be on him like crazy. I'm like, but he playing like a whole just playing. But he would have came up different too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I would have had him playing park ball, like street ball all the time, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like, no, you gonna learn some of this with it too, or whatever. Like, it's great to be in the gym and playing AAU and traveling and do all this stuff, whatever. But you gotta learn how to play through contact, basically. Like I said, I've seen the difference in players who, they hoopers or whatever, but they play in the streets too, as well as them doing all of their basketball traveling and all the top circuit running and all that stuff, versus players who would literally only do the training in the gym, doing this and that. Like, you'll be surprised how many players would be like, "No, man, I don't play outside. I don't do this or that," or whatever. So it's just like, you can tell Jimmy, Jimmy Butler played outside. I don't think Trae Young played outside. I mean, I'm just gonna be real about it. Like, I don't think he did. Like, I don't think he did very often at all. So,
well, that's it. We'll end it right there. So I think that went well. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it was cool, man. Hopefully somebody watch it and sit through it. Sit through 2 hours.
I think some people do. Some people catch it and hopefully they fast forward and get to the good parts. But
just let it play. You ain't really got to watch us. You just listen while you're doing something else.
Yeah, exactly. I prefer it that way, man. Ooh, I get nervous. So where are you gonna watch the game this Friday?
Oh shoot, man. I don't know. Probably the crib. Nothing special. It's gonna be late, man. Our time. Shoot.
Yeah. You know what? I'd probably be hyped up after the game because I'm probably going to go down there. I live seconds away from that stupid arena, and
stupid arena, man. Yeah, you need to go live after the game.
Yeah, I might go down there, go live after the game, catch
go live coming out the stadium, man. Hit them with give us one of those interviews or whatnot, man. Live walking out the stadium, hopefully with a Hawks W.
With
show us the Nuggets fans leaving.
I might be able to do that. It might be. That sounds like some fun. But yeah, so I'm thinking maybe Friday I might jump on online and talk a little Hawks, especially if we play well and get the dub. But because I'll probably be a little hyped up. So if you're in for that, I'm down for that, man.
Yeah, man. I wish Jokic was spending for 2 games, but yeah, we can make it work.
He's gonna be back I thought maybe he'd be gone for that game, but yeah, I guess
one game.
To sign off, if people like designs like this and other things, where can they find this lovely work?
Yeah, man. You find it website www.arcaliendesigners.com. And you see it coming across the bottom of your screen right now. And you can follow me on Instagram at arc_alien, as you see there on the screen as well. And also too, you can follow the shop location at the Art Embassy. But like I said, the Instagram and the website, you can shop. Also, custom designs, anything that you can think of, we can create it digitally for you. So.
Excellent. And the other website you saw is where you can catch hats like this and other cool designs and other things. And then you also have our sponsor, shop.flickwick.com. They give you these nice little hemp wick lighters. But yeah, I guess with that said, go Hawks. Man, we need a big bounce back week so we can have a lot more fun to talk about next Wednesday.